Lions and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We are interrupting your regularly scheduled YouTube browsing for another one of our fantastic video logs chronicling our tours across the US. So, just to bring you up to speed as to where we are as of right now, which is, I don't know what day it is because we've had Christmas. Oh, go on.
Friday the 3rd of Jan.
Friday the 3rd of January. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. So, just to bring you up to speed, we flew, and I'm going to give you dates because it'll all be confusing, but we flew over to Miami about a week ago from London Heathrow. It was a very easy. It was a very relaxing flight, very comfy.
It was alright. It was a flight.
No problems at all. Then we
got into a hotel that night,
picked up the car, and the first day of actual holiday we drove across to the Everglades, which are next to Florida, and they're filled with
alligators,
gators,
and egrets,
and
kingfishers,
and turtles, and we saw all of the things.
We did a private boat, airboat tour for an hour, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. Just us two, and then he took us wherever we wanted to go. If you spotted something, you just did like, look over there, and it was one of those mega loud things, so you had to have earmuffs on. We didn't. It was absolutely hissing down, and we were the only people there that weren't in ponchos because we were still thinking, my God, it's so warm. It's like a warm shower.
We're hardcore. We don't need where we're going. We don't need ponchos.
But yeah, it was amazing. Saw 3 alligators, saw turtles, didn't see any snakes. Saw lots of, the water was so clear, ridiculously clear. So it was really surprising.
And quite shallow.
And on the way, and on the way back, he basically put us onto the fastest his boat would go. And we were just having our hair swept by the wind.
There should be some video of that. Also, he showed us a snake skin.
Yes.
Of a 12-footer.
Boa.
Oh. You would think twice. There was a photograph of it eating a whole gator.
Yeah, that was gross, and I thought it was made up. Sorry, driving. I thought it was made up, and then when you looked at the pictures, you could see the different stages of them taking this giant alligator whole out of this boa, and it had successfully eaten it.
So that was kind of cool. Then, after the Everglades trip... That
was the same day, so we got up early, went there at 9 o'clock. About 10:30, we drove from the Everglades, Miami area, up to Tampa for Busch Gardens, which was about 4.5 hours.
So the plan was travel up there, stay overnight, and then have a full day at Busch Gardens the next day.
And we drove east to west, across, literally straight across to sort of cut through the Everglades area, and it was amazing. There was so many things to see, and it was one of the best drives that we've had through, well, for me, one of the best drives we've had through Florida. There was so many different birds and turkey vultures, like, oh my God, they were huge as well, weren't they?
Yeah, massive.
We saw
eagles,
we saw vultures, we saw kingfishers, we saw
herons,
spoonbills. Honestly, the amount of stuff that I did on my Merlin life list, ka-ching.
For those of you not aware, the Merlin life list is the geekiest thing that's going to go on this holiday, and we're going on a board game cruise. It's basically a log of all the birds she's seen, where she's seen them. It makes her very happy. So we did two animal experiences when we were there.
A hippo interaction, and we went and fed hippos.
Beautiful hippos.
Our husband was called Debbie. She was wonderful. She had whiskers that looked the width of your little finger. And she's got the bite force of I don't know how many tons. She was something like 3 tons or something she weighed.
Hippo-tastic.
She was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I would not want to get into a fight with one, but I'm very happy throwing pieces of sweet potato into its mouth. And I've got video evidence to prove it. The other experience we had, we went on the
Serengeti
Safari, which was us on the back of a truck with a fairly knowledgeable guide
who was a total geek, by the way, turned out to be a proper Marvel and everything nerd.
Yes.
She was really sweet.
She was really sweet, and we went through off the back of a truck and saw loads of animals, and then at the end we got to feed giraffes.
Giraffes, I can't remember their names, but they were very sweet, 2 girls.
It was Bob and Harry. No.
And they were, we did this years ago when Sarah and us came to Busch Gardens. We did this same safari, and it was really sweet. You got to feed them, and
they have
were
very
so
long
gentle.
sticky tongues, and they pull the lettuce out of your hand, and if you didn't want to give it to them tough, they're giraffes.
Tough tits, they're taking it anyway.
They are.
They were really cool.
Yeah, and
so those were the best 2 things about Busch Gardens.
Yeah, and the hippo experience particularly will live with me forever. It was really cool. To Blizzard Beach.
Beach, that was good fun. We went to Summit Plummet,
which was the water park that they opened during the off season, and it's cool.
It's New Year's Eve. I look tired, I know. I'm getting more sleep than I ever thought. Mind you saying that, the heat's taken it out of me a bit. So it's New Year's Eve. And I think it's going to be snowy for you guys for New Year, but for us, we're in Blizzard Beach. We're going women for the whole day.
The whole day?
The whole day.
Cool.
See you in a bit.
We went floating down the river, floating down the river. Floating down the river, floating down the river. Us 2 kids in a blow-up tube, mommy and daddy in a blue canoe. Floating down the river today. All the birds were singing, all the birds were singing. All the birds were singing, all the birds were singing. A tui and a duck and a fantail too. Tweet, tweet, quack, quack. Floating down the river today.
And we had like a nice sail around the lazy river.
Lazy river and the dingy bits.
And then I found the what's it called? The airlift, ski lifts.
Yeah, I didn't like that, but he asked me to do it, so I did it.
She loves me.
Yeah.
She's stupid.
Yeah.
So we went up on the ski lift all the way to the top of a big mountain, and when you're at the top of the mountain, there are 2 ways to come down. There are stairs, which are boring, and then there is a vertical drop slide called Summit Plummet. We took the latter. We
did, and I walked up without question, and I did it before, and it was scary. And I walked in and I got into the bathtub bit, as I've described before. It's like getting into a shallow bathtub and there's a paper clip of metal holding you back. And I turned around and looked at Stuey and said, what am I doing? And then went, you're going to have to push me off the top. So it did.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep my eyes open. I struggled to keep my legs shut, to be truthful. The water jet was...
I didn't hesitate, I just pushed her. It seemed like the right thing to do.
It's like a 90-foot drop and he just pushed.
I thought it would be okay, and it was. You did move very quickly though.
I did move very quickly. I was just focused
Weight
on
times speed equals momentum.
Yeah.
And there was a heck of, I mean honestly, they could have, if they'd have built a wall at the bottom, we'd have both gone straight through it.
Yep.
So that was good. You've got some nice footage of that.
Yep. Here he is. I think this is him. Yes, it is.
And then the next day was Animal Kingdom,
Which was really good.
which was really good.
A better memory than last time.
I would suggest it was a bit cooler, which meant we weren't suffering from heat stroke. But Animal Kingdom is Busch Gardens done right.
Yeah, it is.
And
It's really lovely.
Disney does this stuff really well. You feel like a guest as opposed to a product being shepherded through opportunities to have more money fleeced out of your pockets. And it was beautifully
Really good.
done. You were treated really nicely.
And we went on the Kilimanjaro safaris,
Yeah, which was another trip to go around and see lots of animals. That was good.
Yeah, and it was just, and there was so many, and they showed you all these bits, and there was a full herd of elephants, but the enclosures were huge.
From the day we arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there's more to see than can ever be seen, more to do than can ever be done. There's far too much to take in here, more to find than can ever.
Lions and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears.